how are you doing in that area? Whether you're man or woman, how are you doing in that area? How are you doing at checking in on again, let's start with family first. How are you doing at checking in with your spouse? How are you doing at checking in with your children? Is it part of your daily SOP, standard operating procedure? Is it part of your daily routine and schedule, checking in with your family members? And not as a checkbox. Hey, oh yeah, hey, honey, how you doing today? Good? All right, good. Hey, kid, how you doing? Oh, you're good? Okay, great. No, like legit, are you emotionally even present enough to be able to handle their response, their emotion that they may be feeling in that moment? And if, in my opinion, in order to fully do that, to be emotionally present, it takes emotional fitness and emotional health on your part to even ask that question with any kind of sincerity, genuineness, authenticity, and empathy. What is going on, EQ gangsters? So today's episode is going to be about how emotionally available and emotionally present are you with the people that you work with? And also your family, for your family and for your coworkers and colleagues. Thank you all so much for just supporting us in this journey, being a part of my emotional growth journey, and then also letting me be a part of your emotional growth journey. For those of y'all that watch on our YouTube channel, that listen to our podcast, maybe follow us on social media, our different social media channels, thank you. It's been such a blessing. This past year, I did a Facebook post and a LinkedIn post about my wins for 2021, and it was humbling. I was so thankful and fulfilled and satisfied and excited at my wins for 2021. And this is new. Me even sharing my wins is kind of a new experience for me. I've been trying to get better at it over the last couple of years as I've gotten emotionally healthier, because before, part of my emotional growth journey, for me, sharing wins or even thinking about my wins was totally selfish, totally, it's all about you. You're just trying to get, trying to get some accolades, seeking. This is so funny. How about this mental mind screw is, I would say, if I was to share any kind of wins, I would tell myself, you're just trying to get approval or validated from other people. Like, you're just a selfish. That was my story to myself, right? Consciously, my script that I would tell myself, not even realizing that every single people interaction, I was trying to get validation and approval. So is that crazy how anytime I thought of like, oh man, there's a win that I want to share with somebody, maybe in a conversation or on a social media post or whatever, like, no, you can't do that. I mean, that's totally selfish. That's, you're trying to get validated and, emotionally pat on the head. And yet I was doing it in every single people interaction. That is crazy. Oh man. So now I can share wins and know that I'm not trying to get approval. I'm not trying to get validation. I'm not trying to get someone to like me more or approve of me. And maybe some people did take it wrong. I don't care. I'm just thankful that I'm beyond that people-pleasing addiction for the most part. You guys have been following me, know that I'm not totally out of the weeds yet with that, but I'm probably about 90% out of the weeds from my people-pleasing addiction. And at some point I need to do a whole episode on that. I'm surprised. I could probably do a series on that, actually. So this episode too, I just want to let you guys know, is sponsored by the Lima Charlie Network. Now, for those of you all that have been, again, following my journey kind of recently, you all know that I was blessed and fortunate to be asked to be a part of this Lima Charlie Network. And it's a group of military podcasters and influencers that have kind of come together to reach more people and impact more people and empower our respective audience bases with leadership tools and resources and stuff to be equipped, more fully equipped as leaders, both in the military and out of the military. And you can get more information about that organization at limacharlienetwork.com, limacharlienetwork.com. Okay, so I was reading an article on LinkedIn from McKinsey and Company. For those of y'all who don't know McKinsey and Company, it is one of the top consulting firms in the world. And they put out some really great content and really great research in a lot of their posts and articles and that kind of thing. Well, the one today, I want to share some of their findings because it's super relevant. So this is from an article. I think it was shared today. I could be wrong. Let me just see. No, it's not. It's a month ago. December 3rd, 2021. Here's the title. Working parents are among the record number of employees leaving their jobs or thinking about doing so. To keep this crucial group, organizations must address why they're drawn to other options. Super fascinating article. Here's the first exhibit. For those of y'all that are watching on YouTube, you can see me looking down. I'm looking at the actual article. If you're on the podcast, obviously no sweat. I'm just reading it off to you. More non-white parents are planning to quit their jobs than white parents, raising concerns about organizations' diversity, equity, and inclusion efforts. So 4 percentage points. So fathers, there are 4 percentage points higher non-white that are planning on leaving, quitting their jobs than white parents, than white fathers. 9 percentage points higher of non-white mothers are planning on quitting their jobs than white mothers. So interesting. Another interesting exhibit. So the second exhibit, check this out. So now this is kind of the crux of this particular podcast episode here. Employees with women managers are more likely to say that their manager has supported and helped them over the past year. Actions taken by managers to support employees by managers' gender. So, and there's a few different columns here, and I'm just reading off of this exhibit and research from an article from, again, McKinsey and Company on December 3rd, 2021. Okay. Provided emotional support. Women managers provided emotional support 12 percentage points higher than men managers. Let's see. Women managers checked in on overall well-being of their employees 7 percentage points higher than their male counterparts. 6 percentage points higher women managers helped make sure workload was manageable than male managers and their men counterparts. Helped navigate work-life challenges. 5 percentage points higher women managers did than men managers. Helped take actions to prevent or manage burnout. 5 percentage points higher women than men managers. So in every one of those categories, providing emotional support, checked in on overall well-being, helped make sure workload was manageable, helped navigate work-life challenges, helped take actions to prevent or manage burnout. Women managers scored higher on every single one of those categories than men. And so, how about you? How about you? How are you doing in that area? Whether you're man or woman, how are you doing in that area? How are you doing at checking in on again, let's start with family first. How are you doing at checking in with your spouse? How are you doing at checking in with your children? Is it part of your daily SOP, standard operating procedure? Is it part of your daily routine and schedule, checking in with your family members? And not as a checkbox. Hey, oh yeah, hey honey, how you doing today? Good? All right, good. Hey kid, how you doing? Oh, you're good. Okay, great. No, like legit Are you emotionally even present enough to be able to handle their response, their emotion that they may be feeling in that moment? And if, in my opinion, in order to fully do that, to be emotionally present, it takes emotional fitness and emotional health on your part to even ask that question with any kind of sincerity, genuineness, authenticity, and empathy. It requires some sort of emotional health and fitness on your part. So, which is why I'm such a big advocate, again, for a consistent, regular emotional fitness program, which I've talked about in some recent episodes. We also, in the EQ Mafia, for those of y'all that are watching on YouTube, you can see the sign in the back that I've got, the EQ Mafia. That's another great emotional fitness exercise to add to your overall emotional fitness program, the EQ Mafia, and you can just go to eqgangster.com for that information. So how about for your coworkers and colleagues? Maybe you're a business owner on here. Maybe you run a company, right? Are you checking in with your employees? How often are you checking in with your employees? Are you making checking in with your employees part of your culture? I'm actually interviewing a lady today who is a workplace culture expert. Super excited to talk to her about the junction, relationship, intersection of culture and emotional intelligence. Because from my EQ perspective, there is a massive impact and relationship between those two, culture and emotional intelligence. So in each of those categories, how are you doing? Again, with checking with your family and with your colleagues, providing emotional support, checking in on their overall well-being, making sure the workload is manageable, helping navigate work-life challenges, helping take actions to prevent or manage burnout. How are you doing in each of those 5 areas with your family and also with your colleagues and coworkers? What are some questions that you can ask? Maybe make a list of questions that you can ask your spouse, that you can ask your children, that you can ask your coworkers on a regular basis, and get a genuine, authentic response back. Not, hey, I'm fine. No. Hey, Scott. Hey, Sally. Hey, Frank. Like, no, I'm serious. How are you doing today? Like, just like stop. I know you're running to go make copies or you're running to go send a file to somebody. No, like just stop for a second, 10 seconds. Check in with yourself. How are you doing emotionally right now? What are you feeling? Give me 3 or 4 emotion words that you're feeling right now. That's another great exercise. But in order to give 3 or 4 emotion words, they have to have emotional vocabulary to even provide emotional words like that, to provide words that express emotion. And again, most people don't have a very good emotional vocabulary. So that could be part of your culture for your family, for your organization, is helping and intentionally teaching your staff, your organization, your company, your department, your team, emotional vocabulary, helping each other grow and expand your emotional vocabulary, which would help out the emotional intelligence of your entire team, department, organization, military unit, family, etc. And we've got a number of exercises that I've shared before earlier on in the podcast that are excellent exercises to incorporate in your family, in your team, in your organization. So, and again, all of this is where it starts. It starts with you, right? Those four main quadrants of emotional intelligence: self-awareness, self-management, social awareness, social management. That first quadrant, self-awareness, that's part of that journey, is growing and increasing your self-awareness. One of the things I've realized, I can't wait to do this episode. This is another episode that I'm going to be sharing, is on mastery. I want to develop a degree of mastery in the area of emotional intelligence and also coaching. And, in my world, specifically emotional intelligence coaching, emotionally intelligent leadership coaching. And because that's the space I'm in, I'm an executive coach and I coach a number of executives, and I want to develop mastery. And I'll share this. I don't want to I don't want to get ahead of myself and do the actual episode now. But anyway, just know that that episode is coming on mastery. What areas of our lives have we pursued mastery in? Do we even have or display any degree of mastery in our lives right now? Who do you know in your life that is a master in a particular subject or area? Anyway, I've got a whole thing for that. So anyway, it takes ownership. It takes ownership. It takes responsibility, taking responsibility with where you're at on the emotional intelligence map. Right now, I've got an assessment for that. I've got a whole EQ assessment that breaks down and assesses you, and it's like your emotional intelligence before photo in 15 different areas. Are you taking ownership and responsibility of where you're at emotionally? That's where this whole topic of this podcast episode starts, is you taking ownership and then growing your self-awareness, starting in the area of your self-awareness. Bust out, print out that emotional wheel that I talk about so often. Print that, just Google it, emotion wheel, print it out, put it on your desk in your office, put it on your refrigerator at home. Start incorporating that, growing your emotional vocabulary, both professionally and personally, at the office and at home. Also, you can use that mood meter app that I talk about quite a bit. I've got a whole episode on the mood meter app, talking about the mood meter app. It's not my app. I don't know whose it is, but I use it all the time. I use it with my coaching clients. It's a great app. I use it for myself. So I'm at over 400 check-ins right now, which I'm super excited about. Again, helping grow my self-awareness. Again, in order to be emotionally present, to be an empathetic, emotionally intelligent leader and spouse and family member, it takes, again, taking ownership and growing that self-awareness, growing your self-awareness so that you can be as emotionally healthy as possible. The more comfortable I am and safe I am with my own pleasant and unpleasant emotions, comfortable and uncomfortable emotions, the more comfortable and safer I'm going to be for your unpleasant and uncomfortable emotions and intense and strong emotions. But if I'm not comfortable, safe, pleasant with my own emotions, intense emotions, strong emotions, I'm definitely not going to be safe, comfortable, pleasant around your uncomfortable, unsafe, unpleasant, intense emotions. And that's been a proof of growth of mine over the past, again, 3 years. In fact, one of my recent episodes was on that. I got, there was in the past would have been a very, very triggering text that would have sent me to Hulk mode from 0 to 10 in 0.7 seconds. And I went to like a 2 on a scale from 1 to 10. I was super calm, super chill, thought about it a little bit, and then it almost had zero impact on me. Again, on a scale 1 to 10, a 2, and for a very short period of time. So that is a massive proof of growth for me. So now when my wife or my daughter or a friend, a colleague, a client, an executive of mine that I'm coaching, expresses intense, serious, strong, unpleasant, uncomfortable emotions, I can stay cool as a cucumber, because your emotional state does not take me with you on that emotional roller coaster with you. I can stay calm regardless of what your emotional state is. Do you go on other people's emotional roller coasters with them, or are you able to stay emotionally kind of centered and at peace regardless of the chaos of somebody else around you? Right? That's massive, y'all. Look at the state of the society. Look at the news. The news. Oh my goodness, man. The news the past couple of years. I mean, it's they're a business. I think we forget about that. Well, they're in the news business. I don't think they're in the news business. Personally, I think they're in the fear business. They're in the emotional control business, right? Because what sells, y'all? Fear sells. Emotions sell. So the healthier we get emotionally, the less the emotional chaos of those around us and the world and the media will impact us, because we have control of our, we'll have more awareness of our emotions, and we'll have more control over our emotions as well. So that's the message for today, y'all, is let's continue to work on our own emotional fitness program, our own emotional health, so that we can be emotionally present for our family members and our colleagues and coworkers. How about your boss, y'all? How about leading up? How about leading up? How about, have you ever provided, or are you even at a spot emotionally where you can provide emotional support for your boss, checking in on your boss's overall well-being, help make sure your boss's workload is manageable, help your boss navigate work-life challenges, help take actions to prevent or manage your boss's burnout? How about leading up? Not just leading across with your peers or colleagues, but also with your team, with your subordinates, with your junior leaders and stuff. So would love to hear if you got something out of this, and please share it. Thank you for those, y'all. Thank you. Honestly, if you get something out of this, please take 15, 20 seconds to give us a rating and a review, leave a comment on our podcast, different podcast platforms and stuff. It means a lot. It really helps our podcast. It helps our credibility in the workplace, if you will, and the out, just showing that it's giving an impact to other people that are listening. So thank you for sharing episodes that impact you, sharing with friends or family members that you feel may need to hear this. So thank you again for subscribing and sharing and rating and reviewing the podcast. Unaddressed emotional issues don't get better over time. They actually compound. If you don't deal with your emotional issues, your family, friends, and coworkers will be forced to. Emotionally healthy leaders create emotionally healthy cultures and organizations, which lead to outstanding impact, outcomes, and results. Emotionally healthy people help heal other people emotionally.